October 3 UPI New England Patriots star Rob Gronkowski is back on top of our tight end rankings for Week 5. Usual suspects Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz sit behind Gronk this weekend. Because of the first round of bye weeks, there are several notable names missing from the rankings. Those names include Jordan Reed, Austin Hooper and Coby Fleener. If you own one of those players and don't have a backup, get ready to pull the trigger on your waiver wire. Here are my top players to add and top players to drop for Week 5. Here are my top 20 options at the position this week. Top 20 Week 5 rankings below top shelf quarterback Sam Bradford could suit up for the Minnesota Vikings in Week 5. That fact alone vaults Kyle Rudolph back into high-end TE1 consideration. The Vikings are also facing the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football, giving Bradford some more time to heal up. The Bears have allowed the 8th most receiving yards to tight ends, and Rudolph has the talent to expose this defense. He is my number 4 tight end for Week 5. Tennessee Titans Delanie Walker is my number 5 tight end for Week 5 with a matchup against the Miami Dolphins. This season, the Dolphins have allowed the 13th most fantasy points per game to tight ends. Miami has allowed at least 5 receptions to tight ends in 2 of its 3 games this season. Expect Walker to be highly targeted in this matchup, especially with quarterback Marcus Mariota dealing with a hamstring injury. Even if Mariota doesn't suit up, the veteran pass catcher will be leaned on. Sneaky plays Oakland Raiders tight end Jared Cook is my number 10 tight end for the week with a matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are allowing the 4th most fantasy points per game and have allowed the 2nd most touchdowns in the NFL to opposing tight ends. Cook has at least 43 receiving yards in 3 of his 4 starts this year. He has 16 catches for 170 yards and a score this season. Cook is a TE1 with some better options on a bye this week. Cameron Brate has scored a touchdown in back-to-back games and is coming off of his best showing in Week 4. I expect another TE1 week from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend against the New England Patriots. The Patriots have allowed the 3rd most touchdowns, 5th most fantasy points per game and 6th most receiving yards to opposing tight ends. Brate comes in at number 12 among tight ends this week in my rankings and is a starter in leagues with 12 teams or more and a streaming option with a hope to score in more shallow formats. Long shots you might not be excited about the prospect of starting Baltimore Ravens tight end Max Williams, but his matchup against the Oakland Raiders makes him a replacement-level option for Week 5. Williams is ranked number 16 for me this week and is a TE2. The Raiders have allowed the 9th most fantasy points per game and are tied for allowing the 4th most touchdowns to tight ends this season. Week 5 tight end rankings New York Jets tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins has great talent, and you could see that come out this weekend against the Cleveland Browns. This season the Browns are allowing the 2nd most fantasy points per game, 2nd most touchdowns and 4th most receiving yards to opposing tight ends. Seferian-Jenkins had 5 catches in Week 3 and 4 more grabs in Week 4. He is due for a score in this game, which I don't think will be a low-scoring affair.